Okay guys, just going to give you two, maybe three simple little stretches that you can do at home. Obviously there's an abundance of flexibility exercises or stretches if you like to potentially pick from. But again, stripping away some of the non-essential and picking some big bang for your buck. This is not a comprehensive stretching routine, but it's a place to start. So if you're doing nothing, this will be a good place. Now the reason why I've got you here in my living room in front of the TV is because I believe that most people spend more than 5 minutes watching TV a day. So even if you do your stretching in front of the TV at night, that's a good option. In fact, it's actually more beneficial. Research shows that stretching immediately post-workout actually doesn't yield certainly the best results, should we say. So if it's later on in the evening, when you are relaxing, you're a little bit stiffer again, and you can wait out that tension, in front of the TV is a good place. Now I'm going to stay here, but obviously if I was watching the TV, I'd be facing the other way. The first one we can do, so a good one for the hips. This is a 90-90 stretch. So when you're set down, what you want to do, bend. We're essentially externally rotating one hip, internally rotating the other. We call it a 90-90 position. So 90 degrees, 90 degrees. I'm trying to lift, I'm putting this posted arm through the floor, packing the shoulder, lifting the chest. I take my other hand, I can put it on the ankle. Now, I don't want to be losing too much alignment with my spine. What I'm really trying to do is hinge as much as I can. So keeping that chest open, taking it towards the knee. And again, it doesn't have to be a super aggressive stretch. It's called like waiting out the tension. So we just breathe nice and relaxed, and you'll find that over time, if I was watching the TV, I'll be creeping closer with my chest to the knee. Now taking the chest towards the foot makes it a little bit more of an advanced stretch. So you can find somewhere between that lower leg. And again, it shouldn't be pain. It should just be about waiting out that tension so it's a comfortable stretch. Okay? Now obviously you would do both sides. You might find one side's a little bit stiffer than the other, maybe focus a little bit more attention or time to that stiffer side. The other thing you can do with this one, make it an active mobility drill. Hands posted behind you, lifting that chest again in this sort of straddle position with your feet flat on the floor, and you roll them touching the knees to the floor. So again, I'm internally rotating one hip, externally rotating the other. You can do a few of those before you wait out the tension in the stretch if you like. Alright, next one. Now, a lot of people maybe can't sit in this straddle position, keeping a long spine, keeping the chest open, because if they're pretty jammed up through the back side of the hip, they'll find that they're quite concave through the front of the body, so the head's going forward and the chest is sinking. If that's you, and even if it's not you, it's a little bit more comfortable chocking your butt up. Now I've got a little meditation cushion here, which is good for me, but you could also use yoga blocks, cushions even. It'd probably be best if it was a firmer surface, so maybe, say like yoga blocks, or even, it's a good thing for the phone books nowadays, okay, or a couple of books. So by doing that, I'm actually buying myself a little bit of range through the hip. We don't want to be super wide with this. I could go a little bit wider, but I don't want to. It's actually counterproductive if we do. But in this position, and again, even in this position here, keeping the toes pointed to the ceiling, I could watch TV for a little bit. It just helps to open up through here. There's trade-offs with everything, so there's a downside to sitting in this position as well. So again, you've got to make sure you do move around continually. You know, sitting still in any position is not good. But this stretch I'm going to show you is kind of a QL stretch, so it's just opening up the side of the body. What I want to do, if I'm going over to the right, I take my left hand and reach as if I'm reaching towards the left knee. But I'm trying to keep my chest lifted again. The right arm, and I'm not thinking about crunching down, I'm thinking about really lengthening the spine. When I reach overhead, again, I feel that position, I feel the stretch in that position, so I'm just going to wait out that little bit of tension. So inhale, further lengthen, exhale, fall a little bit further into it. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, fall into it. Now I could just, as long as I'm keeping integrity through the spine, in other words lengthening out and not just folding into pain, you'll find as we go through maybe a minute or two, I'll be going further and further over. What you always want to do when you're coming out of these stretches is keep that some amount of tone in the tummy, and imagine pulling yourself up sort of one vertebrae at a time, rather than yanking on your spine. If you need to, you use your arms just to help you, okay? Now obviously you do that both sides, and that's certainly a good place to start, because it's certainly a good place to start opening the hips up. Now, one thing you can do for your upper body, I like to use the door frame for stretching throughout the day. We do tend to close off, me more than probably most. And I spend quite a bit of time sat down in front of a computer as well. So again, we shorten. So I like to use a door frame, and I just put my hands flat onto it, try and keep the alignment through the spine and just reach into it. So every time I come to the front door and go back into my kitchen, I might do anything from 10 to 30 seconds of that. However, when we're stood, and especially people who are maybe stood in the office or who are in chairs, it's a good place to start. We do this obviously in our sessions every day, pretty much. It's that gun position behind your back. Now I'm really actively trying to do is push my fingers down to the heels. And as I'm doing that, if I also visualize trying to touch my elbows together. So when I do that, you can see that the shoulders come towards each other. Now, one of the things you've got to be aware of is that we can tend to flare those ribs. So we want to be strong through here, so the tummy and the butt, tall through the crown of the head as we push those fingers down, try and touch the elbows together. So we're avoiding a big rib flare. Now I can feel mine wanting to do that. But just this in itself pulls the shoulders down and gets them back. And if you just held that with some relaxed breathing, even for 30 seconds, it's a good start. Alright guys, hope that's self-explanatory. Good place to start with your stretching. Do it daily, you'll reap the rewards.